Have you ever asked yourself, where has the time gone? Today marks the day that I have been playing Elite Zero Level 1 in Arknights for over a year. I had created this account on the day after Christmas, on December 26, 2022, and I was originally making this account purely for the reason of recording and archiving the very beginning of the Arknight story that, for whatever reason, you cannot see again after you view it for the first time. And then I asked myself the question, how far could I possibly get with Elite Zero Level 1? And to answer that question, I have gotten all the way to 5-3 in 1 year, which I have to say is way farther than I was ever expecting to go, and it amazes me to this day that I have been able to do that. So yeah, I have cleared a few Chapter 5 stages at this point. I have recorded them and will upload them at some point. But also talking about the progress for Challenge Mode and the other chapters. For Chapter 4, I did 4-2 Challenge Mode, which was the defense of all allied units is halved, and I am very shocked still that I was able to do that. Regarding Challenge Mode stages, I don't really plan on recording any of them, unless it's like a very specific clear that really stood out to me. Because Challenge Mode is kind of one of those things where I pretty much only focus on Challenge Mode stages if I have inspiration to clear them, because getting only half your sanity back per failure is garbage. So there is that. So for Chapter 4, I have done S4-3 for the extra stages, and I haven't done S4-4 or S4-7. And for Chapter 3, I haven't actually worked on it for a little bit, but I haven't cleared S3-4 and the ones following it. But for Challenge Mode, I have done 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, as well as all the challenge modes from 2-8 and below. So 2-9 and 2-10 I haven't done for those just yet. So just to have a view of each of the chapters to show that. So for the next thing I wanted to show off was all of the operators that I've gotten throughout this 1 year. So all of the 6 stars that I have gotten, and a lot of these are from the Milsis banner and Holo Hayek banner, because when they took out the year 1 6 stars, I think it was, I was able to get a ton of new 6-star operators. So I got Thorns, Blemenshine, and Fiametta and stuff like that just from that banner alone. And then I got a bunch from the Texas Altar banner, because both Texas Altar and Milsis I had to pay extra money for because I was extremely unlucky. So that definitely, I was lucky in that I got a lot of 6 stars, but I was unlucky in getting the limited operators. So just to take a look at my roster, if any of you were curious to see what I have. And when I first started this account, I started it just before Ideal City, or not Ideal City. I had just started it before Lingering Echoes, and so I was able to get Hibiscus Altar, which I knew that was going to be very good. That if I was going to do this, that would be a good time to start. Also, right afterward was Ideal City, I do believe, was like the next limited after that. And I was able to get Gavial Altar. And longtime viewers of this channel have probably noticed that most of my early clears, I heavily relied on Gavial Altar, which is very ironic because I didn't expect her 225 defense to be good enough to actually make her very good. But she ended up being incredible and pretty much carrying me through a lot of my clears, especially early on, and I still use her from time to time. But I am glad now that I do have a lot more options, so I don't necessarily need to rely as much on specific operators, although there are a few that I use a lot. Like, I use Hashigoma and Blemenshine a lot now, as well as Golden Glow, so there is that. So, going over my depot, I'm sure there were many of you looking forward to this as well. How much resources do I have after not spending any of it on upgrading my operators? So for LMD, I have over 11 million now. And for pull saved up, I effectively have like 40k Arundum, if you count all of the shards that I have been stockpiling as well. Unlike what seems to be for a lot of players, is that I do convert my rocks into shards over time, so that when I want to convert them into Arundum, all I need to do is switch my trading posts over. And then I also have these 19 single pulls. So let's just focus on the growth materials. This is how much XP that I've gotten. I have gotten over 25,000 of the level 1, the lowest tier of drilled battle records. So that's pretty fun. And then almost 750 of the skill summary 3s. As well as all of these things. So for rocks themselves, I am getting the monthly card now. So I have extra sanity to spend on getting more rocks. So that is why I have all of these, as well as the extra devices that are also used for that. And that is not counting the nearly 200 rocks in my factory right now. So, fun times. And then, here comes the token collection. This pains me so much, especially seeing the Neural, the Radiant Knight tokens. I think I got both of these just from the Mules' banner alone. So I had gotten Neural Altar from the Texas Altar banner, I do believe, and then I got Neural Altar twice on the Mules' banner. So that really feels bad. So, most of the 5 stars, I don't have too many of them unless they were a limited banner rate up like Luna Cub and Fire Whistle. I have a lot, as well as Melanite. And then going into the 4 stars, I don't really have too many other than Gravel. and then Shaw, I suppose, because Specialist tag is pretty common. And then the 3-star tokens. I have pretty much 100 of each of these now. Except for Cardigan, because I think Cardigan is only from the gacha, if I do believe, instead of recruitment. And for anyone wondering, the reason why I have all these tokens and I'm not turning them in is because when you go to the store and you go to token exchange, if you don't use potentials, you cannot actually turn them in. So all of my operators that I don't have potentials, and I use level 1 skills. I also wanted to share some fun facts and statistics of my year of doing Elite Zero Level 1. The hardest stage that I thought that I've done was 4-9. The Contingency contract stages were also very hard, and there were many of them that were very difficult, but by far the hardest was 4-9 in my opinion. My favorite event that I've done is Who Was Real, with WR-10 being my favorite stage so far for fun factor. And that kind of surprises me, because when I first went through Who Was Real on my main account when it originally was running, I didn't really enjoy it all that much. But going through it with Elite Zero Level 1, I feel that the new archetypes, or newer archetypes, Doll Keepers and Tactician Vanguards, did really help make that event more enjoyable. Some honorable mentions for specific clears that I really enjoyed was CW-5 and CW-6. Those two I thought were really interesting to clear, and even though that they were really hard, they ended up being very satisfying to clear. And also the pinch out operation, the first daily, so to speak, the beach repair one, I really enjoyed as well. Events that I have fully cleared, the story stages, the non-EX stages, I have only done 4 so far. So that includes Heart of Surging Flame, which is also called the Obsidian Festival, Who Is Real, Dassless Holiday, although I did use the sticker buffs, so depending on how you feel about that, I am probably going to go back to looking at those stages at one point and seeing how plausible they are without the buffs, but that is one that I have gotten to the EX stages. And Lone Trail, also, I have gotten all of those story stages done, and surprisingly CW5 and 6 were actually the hardest ones out of all of those stages. CW9, if I didn't already see I Love Amiya's video on CW9, that one probably would have been the hardest if I didn't want to watch his video, but thank you for that. To deal with the RoboCop, whatever you want to call that. So Annihilations, I have fully cleared Annihilation 1, and I didn't use any 6 stars. That was the video, How Far Can Elite Zero Level 1 do on Annihilation 1? That was the full clear. Annihilation 2, I've done 325 out of 400. Although I did use an Elite Zero maximum level horn to get 350 plus, just to raise the Arundum cap, just to get that extra per week. Annihilation 3, I've gotten 200 out of 400. And then out of all of the rotating Annihilations, I have done 300 out of 400 on the Saltafreya Novice themed one. I haven't actually tried any of the other Annihilations because unless I raise the Arundum cap, it's kind of like wasting sanity. Especially since if you go back to the older ones, they don't actually give you Arundum for clearing them. You only get like the first clear rewards, which in my opinion just isn't worth bothering with at this point. So for Contingency contract, This really surprises me that I was able to get anywhere with Contingency Contract, especially since that was kind of the hardest content that Arknights does, at least for the high-risk stuff. So for CC10, I did Risk 4, although I did use an Elite Zero Max Hung to also do that. That was really early on, so it is very surprising that I was able to clear that at all. And then CC11, I got Risk 7, and I would have gotten Risk 14 or higher if I had my own Chen Altar, but unfortunately I didn't, and since support reduces the maximum trust bonus to half, that really penalizes Chen Altar. So if I would have had my own, that would have allowed me to go higher. CC12, I wasn't able to clear the permanent stage. That was too hard for me. And the highest risk daily that I've done was during CC11, and it was Risk 9 on the CC9 stage. So for Pinch Out, it was 200 for the permanent, 160 for the first daily. I couldn't do the second one. That was themed after what the Firelight cast. The burn damage as well as the double caster at the end was too hard for me. And also I didn't have the damage to deal with the, whatever those things are called, the chompers. And then for the last one, Area 13 Runes, I also got 100 score. To end things off, I want to give some shout-outs to some other Arknights players. Dambo for inspiring me to do this through your Elite Zero maximum level clears. Legacy of Gaming, I once saw a comment on another video that I used for my DH9 clear thumbnail, and I contribute that through doing that really helped me figure out a thumbnail style that I still use today and refined. And thank you for supporting me as well throughout all this time. Some Elite Zero Level 1 players that I have met also, Cartel Usa, Kanzu, although Kanzu doesn't really play Elite Zero Level 1 anymore, Dice Jr., Rayuri, and also I would like to give special thanks to some players who offered to give me supports. So Villainous Preamble has allowed me to use Elite Zero Level 1 Suitor, especially for Contingency Contract clears. That has helped a lot. Thank you for that. Ruvia for the Chen Altar support that I tried to use in CC11. It is just too bad that Elite Zero supports have that halved trust bonus. And Ithra, who has been on my friends list in-game for a while, who has sort of a collector's account that has Elite Zero Level 1 Blitz. And although that I haven't used him for any clears yet, I am thankful that you have given me the option if you're watching this. And Shiro Neko has also offered me supports. And also, I would like to thank all of you for joining me on this journey throughout making these Elite Zero Level 1 clears, and hopefully I can continue to do this for the foreseeable future, and without your support I might not still be doing them. So thank you all for showing your support, and hopefully this summary for this last year was interesting for you. And with that, thank you very much for watching, and stay sane, doctors.